Hi, this is Not a Very Good Hunting channel. Today, I'm going to be doing a kind of an extreme weather update with the Sitka cold weather gear. And I think I picked a good day for it. We'll see how long I can last out there, and see how it goes. Stick around. Okay, so today I'm going to be out in the what I would consider extreme cold. This would be the absolute coldest that I would ever see in late December. It's early February, and it's been a very, very kind of mild January. We had a mild December as well, so it was kind of mild. Now we're finally getting a good cold snap. This morning when I got into my truck, it was showing minus 27, and the weather is saying high minus 25 today, and but with the wind it's going to be like minus 41. And getting here earlier today, the camp was at about minus 18. Oh, about that. Minus 18. I got the heat going. I had to use 2 heaters because it's still, like, you still see my breath. Like, it's still showing minus 10.5 about. And that's with the heat. It's been going for a while. So I had to dig out the front of the entranceway just enough to park my truck, and then I walked the rest of the way, and there's no way I can shovel all the snow to get my truck into the camp. So this is probably going to be my last video of the winter, because there's just too much snow. We're not supposed to get too many more extremely cold days. Well, at least that's what they're saying. They're saying long term it's going to be warming up. So I figured this yesterday was freezing cold as well, but I figured I'll get out here and go sit out in the cold for a while in my gear and see how it does. I won't be going out back to a tree stand or anything like that. It's there's just too much snow and it's too cold, so I didn't want to risk anything going out there when I can just set up a patio chair next to the camp and sit there for a bit just to see how it is. So it won't be a completely accurate simulation because I don't have the walk in and all that goes with it, the overheating and heating up and stuff like that. So I know it's not going to be an entirely accurate extreme weather challenge type recreation, but I wanted to get out here when it was as cold as I'm ever going to get at the end of December, when I'm going to be bow hunting or crossbow hunting, because some mornings it does get close to minus 20 and maybe minus 25 or whatever with the wind. So right now it's like I said, minus 41 with the wind and minus 25 without it. So I'll see how I do. I'll sit out for a couple hours at least, and report back. for a walk. Yeah, go for a walk. There's how much snow I'm walking. Almost to the top of my boots. These are tall, over the calf boots. I'll just go for a little bit of a walk. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too far. I don't want to get all sweaty and overheated and kind of ruin the review. Something was walking by over here. Those deer. I can't tell, they're kind of old. Let's see. Okay, well that might be as far as I go. Kind of blocked. So, oh well. Just a quick walk. Go back. Also got to check, so I've been out here for about 10 minutes. And that hasn't been too bad. I had to warm up my feet by the heater before I left because getting dressed, taking everything off and putting everything on, and standing on that cold floor with bare feet while I was switching socks just sucked all the heat out of my feet. So I had to warm my feet up for a bit before we went back outside. Because otherwise I'd be done pretty quick. So, which would kind of simulate the morning anyways, because I'd get up and get the heat going and then start getting dressed to go for the morning hunt. So I don't know how long that walk was, but you can see my beard and my mustache are covered in ice already. That was what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes of walking, or of the being uncovered. So it doesn't take long at minus 45, minus 41 with the wind to make your breath freeze everything on your face. Well, my camera will be able to be out that long filming. Probably isn't a good idea to have this camera out like that, but I'm hoping it would give me some kind of an alert if something's going wrong. So I'll sit back up, sit down again, and tune in. I'll turn off the camera for a bit, and then I'll start it up after a little while. Stay tuned. Oh, I don't want to take off my gloves. Okay, I moved back inside. My phone was starting to die. It was showing that it had like 5% charge, but as soon as I got it back inside, it was back up to 50. So I think the cold is having an effect on my camera. My phone. So I was out for. Let me just check. So about 2 hours, 45 minutes. So I was out for almost 3 hours. The gear did great. I was relatively warm most of the time. There were some times where my shoulders and arms were getting a little bit cool, but that went away fairly quick. And at other points, it was like very comfortably warm, like very nice. I couldn't tell any difference between minus, 38 with the wind, and when I was hunting, where it was only, -5 or something like that. With the wind, or even in afternoon, that was fairly warm. So, what I did today though was I wore both sets of my First Lite base layers. So the kiln and the furnace, I wore both of them together, and then on the bottom I threw the Equinox Midi pants, and then the Fanatic Bibs, and up top I had the kiln and the kiln and the furnace, my cheap Columbia fleece vest, then the Fanatic hoodie, the Celsius Midi, and then the Fanatic jacket. On top I was wearing the hood. I was wearing the Fanatic hood on top, and then I had the GTX hat and the neck gaiter. And yeah, the neck gaiter did great. It's pretty awesome. All of that stuff. We had some times where the wind was blowing pretty hard. It was quite windy out there, but you don't really notice it. The only times I really noticed with the wind was when I had my gloves off, when I was moving the camera around or activating the camera. So I had to take my gloves off. I was wearing the Stormfront GTX, or no, maybe it's the Downpour. I think it's the Downpour GTX gloves. I'm gonna do a comparison video on these compared to the QU North Stars. So yeah, so that's for another time. But as far as this cold weather gear goes, I found the only thing that I wasn't not necessarily happy with, but I found my feet were a little bit cold. My fingers are understandable because I had to keep taking off my gloves and exposing my hands to activate the camera and work the camera. So that part, that's understandable. It's so cold outside that the minute you expose your skin to anything, it starts getting really cold. But then I would put them back in the bibs, and I have those the heater packs inside the bibs, or not the bibs, inside the Fanatic pouch, and it was quick to heat up again. I also found wearing these inside the pouch, they worked as well too. Once my hand warmed up enough that it kept the heat in, I could put the glove on top and then put it in the bib. So yeah, my boots, they were fine for the most part. What I found I do, because I'm also bored sitting there, like it's not like hunting where you're trying to pay attention and you're distracted by noises and looking around and stuff like that. I'm literally just sitting outside of the camp, wasting time trying to do this video. So yeah, so my toes were getting a bit cold. I found though, if I got up and walked around a little bit, even just tamping my feet back and forth, adjusting my sock, it seemed like it would warm up again. Yeah, and it would come and go. It would come and go and be nice and warm, and then all of a sudden kind of chilly. I also had a thermos with coffee in it, so that was nice. It was keeping me warm throughout. Yeah, as for socks, I was wearing the Darntough wool socks, and then some alpaca wool socks on top of that. And yeah, so that was, I guess, a little bit disappointing. I was hoping my feet would stay a little bit warmer than that. But I mean, if you're moving around, you're perfectly fine. It's nothing. Minus 40 degrees, moving around, and not like running. I'm not talking about running sprints or anything. Just going back and forth. You stay warm. My feet were warm. Everything was warm. It was, it felt no different than just like a regular 0 degree day outside or anything like that. I find if I was in a blind too, I'd be able to move around a little bit more because I don't have to worry about, having deer notice the movement. So that would have been better. I don't know how much that would have helped just sitting still and keeping any warmth in my feet, but I didn't feel the wind at all. And one of the craziest things was, because these have the Gore-Tex in them and it stops the wind, I noticed the difference between when I had one of these on and I had my phone and working the other one. As soon as the wind blew, you feel it right through these Fanatic gloves. Like they don't have windstop or anything like that on them. So as soon as that was exposed compared to the Downpour gloves that have the Gore-Tex in it that stops the wind, you notice it right away. So the wind was definitely out there, and the jacket and the hat, all that other stuff, totally eliminated that. So it's doing its job. So about 2 hours 45 minutes. It might have been actually a little bit longer when I was setting up, but still, I I don't know if I'd be able to do an entire all day sit just because of my feet. I didn't throw any not cold packs, the warming packets into my boots. That would probably make a difference too, but I'm not going to worry about how long that might have added if I was out hunting. But yeah, the rest of the gear was phenomenal, and I'm very relieved because I had that one day when I was hunting back during gun season even, and it was I found myself really cold. So I don't think it was the gear. It must have been just maybe what I had done leading up to that, or maybe I was getting sick. But yeah, getting dressed was awful. What's it showing in here? Okay, it's showing like it's like 5 degrees in here now, but when I was putting on all the gear inside the camp, it was freezing cold in here. My feet were freezing on the floor of the camp. It didn't take long before my toes were like absolutely frozen. So before I got out to even do this kind of test, I had to warm my feet up because I would have been screwed within the first 20 minutes because it was that cold. I have the heat going here. It's at one point I had both heaters going. I have the buddy heater and then the little mini one, the little buddy, whatever that one is. This guy is, yeah, the little buddy. So I had that going with the with just the regular buddy because it was cold and I didn't want to be here all day. So I think this shows that this gear is pretty damn good. Like I said, the only questionable thing would be my foot situation. But I don't know. It's damn cold outside, so I don't know how much colder I would be where I'm out hunting. I don't know if I would see minus 40 in December. I know minus 25 is not unheard of with the wind and stuff like that. And normally it's only in the morning when that would be going on. So as the morning progresses and the sun comes out, things starts to warm up. So I would probably only have to be out there for 2 hours, maybe 3 hours of the coldest part before sunup, leading up into sunup and up until like 8 o'clock or something like that. And then with the sun coming out and warming everything up, it gets better and better as the day progresses. So I think this is a good setup what I have. So I hope that was somewhat entertaining. If not entertaining, at least informative. If you guys are on the fence, if you want to drop the money for that kind of stuff, I think it makes a big difference because there's no way the other stuff I had before would, even with all the layers, and I said this in the previous video, the reason I upgraded all my stuff was so that I didn't have so many layers, because it's just too bulky. I can't move. So after upgrading, I cut down the layers. Although I'm still wearing quite a few layers in the grand scheme of things, especially since I doubled up my base layers. So that part I couldn't really get away with couldn't really avoid layering, but I wasn't too bulky. It wasn't as nice as when I was in gun season and I only needed a couple layers, but with late season archery, odds are I'd be in a blind anyways, so the bulk wouldn't really affect me all that much. It's not like it being in a tree stand and having to turn and twist all that much. The blind is pretty much set up as a straight shot, and I just lean into lean into my crossbow that's on the tripod that's holding it. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. As always, I hope to get out here again before the spring thaw. But after having to dig through a mountain of snow to get my truck in here and then having to snowshoe into the camp, I don't know how much I'll be doing of that. So until the next time, I guess I'll say, and hope you're all looking forward to springtime for turkey season. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.